to take charge.
Yes.
Guys, welcome.
All right. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May the peace and blessings of Almighty God be with all of us. I am happy. Yeah, I am happy to be here again this evening to start making use of all of the ingredients that we've given ourselves to produce an interesting delicacy. So we've gone to the market, we bought different ingredients. Tonight we'll start mixing them up to cook something very interesting. Let me try to share my screen with us and then check what our delicacy will look like. Okay, so on this screen, for those of us who can see it, confirm if my screen is visible to you or not. Let me try to put it in presentation.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, so we said yesterday night before our departure that we will work on one project together, and in your own private time, you will work on another project on your own. If you run into any issue, you will, reach out to me and I'll be able to help you out, resolve your issues. So the project we want to work on, this is the way we approach programming projects. I'll discuss the idea with you and show you the way I have learned to solve this kind of problem in the last 27, 28 years or thereabouts. Now, we have a task, and the objective is to write a program that can produce sales receipts to users. This is the objective. People can come, identify themselves, buy things from us, and then at the end of the day, we will produce a small printout indicating what they have bought. On my table here, I'm seeing some samples from some POS devices of some malls around here. That's the kind of thing we have in mind. So what are the elements that this will have? There'll be a dialogue part. The dialogue part will ask questions. Then the part of the questions will be about the customer. We'll have some questions relating to the customer. We will have some questions relating to the product to be bought. And once that part is sorted out, we will leave the dialogue part and go into the processing part. Now, the processing part is where we will be doing some multiplications of price times quantity. We will get that. And we will get many of these depending on the number of items being bought. And then we will get the grand total, or what you can call the total amount printed. You calculate the total amount by, accumulating all of this individual price times quantity. We will remove what we call value-added tax. We'll talk about this later. If I know we remove, we will add value-added tax to the total amount, and then we will calculate what we call the grand total. So basically, there will be two parts. That first part is going to be the easier part, which is the dialogue part. And then the second part is going to be more of processing. Now, I haven't said that. I need to quickly show us what the logic will look like, or the flow of communication will look like. Uh, so in programming, we have this convention of saying, start with the end in mind. You have an idea of where you are going, and that will lead you to that destination. Don't just say, I start from the beginning and I'm coding my way through. No, we always have an idea of what our final product will be in our mind, and we work towards that. So let me draw something on the screen, and I need you to pay attention to it because we'll be asking questions as I'm doing this. At the parts, this is going to be like your final printout. On top here, I'll call this the header. D. Where's my marker? Okay, this is going to be the header. That part is where we will put some asterisks, the title, and then we'll put some asterisks, just to decorate that first part. And then immediately after that, we will have customer name. We will have the mobile number of the customer, and then we'll have the date on the top left corner. And if you want to put it on the top right, it depends on what suits you. But that's going to be the first thing immediately after the header. Now, I need to call your attention to the fact that there will be a space around here. So we will not just start writing customer immediately after this asterisk line. So there'll be a space, then we'll have customer name, mobile number, date, and then that line will be there. Immediately after that, there'll be another space. Okay, then we will go into something like this. Another band will be here. Imaginary, you have row number that'll show 1, 2, 3, up to the number of items bought. Then we will have the item. We have the item. We will have the quantity. We will have the price. We will have the amount. So that will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there will be 5 columns that we will have. One will be row that will contain 1, 2, 3, 4, up to the last items bought. The second will be the item description, the name of the item to be bought. The third column will contain unit quantity. Maybe they bought 1, they bought 3 units, they bought 4, we'll put it there. Then we'll have the price. Then we'll have an amount column that will show quantity times price will give us the amount. So we will keep repeating all those things until the customer says he or she isn't buying anything again. So when the customer stops buying, what you will then have is on this side, we look at this column. We will sum everything up and call it total amount. Okay. Then we will calculate what is called value added tax. This is a tax that government charges on sales transactions like this. I think it's about 7.5% of total amount. So if you have bought something worth 100 naira, you pay tax of about 7 naira 50 kobo, if that rate is valid. It was 5%, it went to 10, I think it came back to 7.5. So we will now add that VAT to total amount and get the grand total that the customer is going to pay us. And then on the lower side there, we will display the grand total. We will also display a message like, thank you for patronizing us. We look forward to seeing you again. And that's it. Now, having said all this, let me clean my screen a little bit to discuss some technicalities of what we are going to be focusing on. I'll bring that table up again just to make it cleaner. And now I'm like a class captain cleaning the board. All right. I hope my board is clean enough now. All right, so I go back here. I said we will have row ID. We will have item. We will have price. We will have quantity. And then we will have amount. This is the row. Wow. So these are the 5 columns that we need. Okay. So I need us to think through this ahead. 1, 2, 3. Bread, milk. What else? If you have bread, you have milk. Then you need sugar. You can have other things. 4, you need egg. 5, you need tea. You can get the prices. You can indicate the quantities. You can multiply a price with quantity to give you the amount. When you get to this point, you have to start thinking as a programmer, how do I handle the dialogue, the conversation with the user? How do I handle it such that there will be less complication for me as a programmer? I know the way we would think naturally is to say, when the program starts, we should ask, who is the customer? What's your mobile number? And then we start asking, which item do you want? We know the price. We cannot be asking them for the price. That would be too tedious. Customers already know the price of the product. We also know the price of the product. So we should just ask them for the item needed. The program should determine the price of the item. We should only ask them for the quantity. So you ask them for the item, the quantity they are buying. The program should determine on its own, based on some things we will have set up, how much the price of that product, or how much that product is worth. Then based on the price and the quantity, it should calculate the amount. So we will not be asking user for the amount. The program should do that. So it will be, which product do you want? We indicate the product. How many pieces or units of that product do you need? The user will indicate, and automatically the program will find the price and it will calculate the amount and store it. Then it will ask again, do you want more product or do you want another product? The user says yes. Then that dialogue is repeated. So as long as the user keeps saying yes when asked if he or she wants more product, the dialogue will continue. The moment the user says no, I don't want any other product, then the dialogue session ends, and then the output and processing will take over. So I need you to think along that line while I am coding, because that's the idea that I have in mind. So when you think about this, the main idea during this conversation is the concepts that I want to discuss with you now. You will realize that if you look at this table, everything you have is easy. As you are asking the questions and the user is responding, you are storing the responses in a column. Look at it. Your items are in one column. The prices are in another column. Quantity in another column. Amount in another column. Okay. So what you end up having is item is a list of products. So we will use list to represent item. Price is a list of some numbers. Quantity is also a list of some numbers. Amount is a list of some numbers. So if you have bought 4 items or 5 items, there will be 5 elements in items. There will be 5 elements in price. There will be 5 elements in quantity. And there should be 5 elements in amount. So C is like we will create 4 buckets. We will create 4 buckets. Those 4 buckets will be used to store item, price, quantity, and amount. And when we now get to the processing phase, we will come back and start saying, for item 1, which element do we have for item description for product? We'll see bread there. And then we can link it to item 1 in price. We can link it to item 1 in quantity. We can link it to item 1 in amount. And we will be able to handle for all of the products that we have. And when we get to item 2, we will repeat the same thing, because our containers, our lists, will solve almost all of our problems, for us this way. So this is the way I need you to think ahead. And then when I start building, you will see how this will flow. One other thing I need to mention before we start writing code. Coding is the straightforward and the easiest part of the exercise. The more important part is what you are doing. You are analyzing the flow of the project, how things will happen. So when you have a clear path in your mind to your destination, getting to your destination will be a lot easier. The same thing applies in real life. If you don't know where you are going, then any way you take will probably lead you there. But if you have a clear idea of your destination and how you want to get there, getting there becomes a lot easier, because you know where you are going, how you want to get there. Even getting support in that journey will be pretty easy. So one last element I need to mention here is that I will set up a container that you have not seen before. That container will be where it's what I would call the price list. Okay, it's just a strange thing that you haven't seen, but I deliberately kept it till tonight. I'll set up a price list where we will see different products that we sell and how much we sell them. Now, the advantage of this is to ensure, one, people don't come to say they want to buy what we are not selling. For instance, if I come to your store and I say I want ice cream, and the only thing you sell there is biscuits and popcorn,
Sweet.
then your program should be able to check what you sell, your price list or your product list, and say, sir, we don't sell ice cream here. Okay. So if someone tries to put in a product that is not sold by you. Your program should be smart enough to tell them we don't have that product. Then the second advantage of this is whenever product is indicated and you have it, automatically the program will give you the price for that product. You will see how I will set this up. And if I am ready now, I think you should also be ready. You should be excited. Do you have any question for me at this stage before I start writing codes? Someone is asking me, how did I get my white screen? I produced a plain PowerPoint slide and I have a touch screen laptop. So I'm writing from my screen. I can change the color of my marker. And I also have a device that I use to write sometimes. Maybe I should put on my camera and show you the device. Hold on a second. So I have this device and this is my marker. So if I'm writing on the device, it will be showing on the. All right. So are there questions for me before I go to the coding phase? Ihsan and Ilham said, I have so many codes that are not running. I will want you to allow me to share my screen so you can help me correct them today. Uh, okay, I'll try correcting one for you, and then I'll correct one for you. I'll do that in 5 minutes or 10, okay? And then I'll come back to our project. Our project we should wrap up in 2 lessons at most, okay? So I'll give my screen to you now, the Onowalis. So quickly share your screen with us. Ihsan, please share your screen. You said you have some code challenges.
I'm trying to share.
Okay, I'll wait for you.
No, really. You see.
Okay. Now this is your phone. So we need to see the screen of your laptop. Switch to your laptop screen. Okay.
So we don't know how to do it.
Oh, okay. So this is what I'll do. After the class, maybe tomorrow or Sunday morning, let me put it like this. Sunday morning, if you're not busy, I'll give you my WhatsApp number. You can do a video call with me and I will help you fix the issues with your code. Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. All right. So let me switch to our programming screen and start our conversation from there. All right. So this is our programming screen. I hope you can all see it. So what's the first thing I need to do here? Remember, I had this in mind. This is our final product, okay? So I will say, let's produce my, let's put a comment here. This is our first coding challenge. It will be fun. Okay? Don't worry. I'll come in here. This should be okay. Okay, so that's the cheapest part. So I said to you that I need to indicate the product that we sell. So this will be define our price list. That's the first task. What do you sell? You cannot just say you have a store where people come to buy without knowing what you sell. So I'll say def price list. This is our price list. Okay. And this price list is going to be like this. I will have, how do I do this? How do I do this? Okay, so let me use my standard elements. I want to sell bread. I'll sell it at 10 naira. That's one product set up there. Okay. Then I want to have milk followed by colon. I'll sell it at 15 naira, comma. That's the second product. I want to sell egg followed by colon. I'll sell these at 12 naira 50 kobo. So I don't want to set everything as integer. Okay. Milk, full integer, bread, full integer, egg, no, comma. I want to sell sugar. The price will be 7 naira. Fat. Let me say 4 naira 50 kobo. What else don't we have here? We have bread, we have egg, we have milk, we have sugar. I'll just put one more thing there. Someone should give me what?
See, Pepe.
Ah, good. Pepper. So let's say we have pepper and we'll sell it at 3 naira 50 kobo. Okay. So these are the 5 items that we want to sell in our store. You can have a long list of products like this. Okay. I need to call your attention to something here quickly. This is returning what is called a dictionary. Okay. I can come in like this, go to the end in case it's a long list and you do not want it to break down. I have this. They don't have to be on the same line. Okay. So I can add more elements to it. So what I have done here is to say, give me a list of, or a dictionary of items and their price. So when I say dictionary, I need you to take your mind back to the conventional dictionary that we use as human beings. In the dictionary that we use, you see a collection of words and their meanings. Okay, so the words are there like bread, and then they will put the meaning of bread in front of it. Then they will go to another word and they will put the meaning of it. That's essentially what your dictionary is. So it's a collection of two things per line. The word that we are looking for and the meaning of that word. And that collection is what we call dictionary in human beings world. And we can do the same thing in computer. The only symbol that we use to denote that is the curly bracket. So once I put curly bracket in there, the computer knows that I am defining a dictionary. And that's going to be a bucket that can take two elements for one, the word and then the meaning. So the meaning in our case here, we are using the price for that. So this is the key, the bread, the value is the 10 naira here. Milk is going to be sold for 15 naira. So you can set up this and it's a long list. When we start using this, whoever does not send in any product from this dictionary will be told that that product does not exist and we cannot sell the product to the user. That's the value of this. And when you tell me you are buying egg, the computer program will come to this price list and check if the product is there. Yeah, what is it? Egg. And it can automatically detect that the price is 12 naira 50 kobo. You don't have to start asking your user what's the unit price again. It will be automatically given to them. So I have returned that dictionary. That's my price list. Okay. In fact, I can say no. It should just be my price list. Keep it as a dictionary. Hold on a second. Yes, I'll return it as a dictionary. Sorry. I'll return it as a dictionary. Then I'll go to the next part and define a logic to get price for a selected item. This is very important because we said we don't want to be asking users for that. So this will be def get unit price. Get unit price. This unit price will be the result. For now, that result is 0, but it is the result we want to return to the user. So the result is going to be float because that's our price. But the logic is that we need to indicate the item before the system will know which result to display to us. So we need to indicate the item. So that's the item in the parameter here. And then what will give us that logic? Please watch this. It's a single line statement for me. I'll say result is equal to price list. The price list we have at the top there, dot get. Get what? I want to put the get item there. Yep. Now, the statement that I have written here, this line 19, is a way of saying, look through the price list, bread 10 naira, milk 15 naira, and so on and so forth. Whenever you get the item that has been indicated, okay, give us the corresponding price. That's the way to do it. You use the get method of the items to give you the result. Okay. If you want the program to display a message to you that this product does not exist, we can also go ahead and do that. And the way to do that is to say check if the product exists. So we'll define is valid product. For us to know if it's a valid product, you must tell us the product. Okay. And this is the result. We will keep the result as a Boolean. Boolean here will tell me if it is true or false. Is it a valid product? Yes or no. That's the kind of a scenario that we want to have. And we will still need to check this list again. This is our dictionary. Now, in order to get bread, milk, eggs, sugar, and pepper, I will need to scan through. Our naked human eyes can scan through, but how do we tell the computer to do the same thing for us? We will come in here and say, result is negative by default. So we'll say if price list dot where's this? Hold on a second. Yeah. If price list, these are my keys. Okay. I'll say items is equal to this. I'll now say if item in items, then result is true. Else, result is false. And then we want to return the result. Return result. In fact, you can go ahead and start displaying messages. So let me remove all I clean up my code to give me the right commas. Now, what exactly have I written here? I have written a body of logic to say, anytime anybody says he or she is buying something from us, we are asking the code to check, is that product part of what we sell? How do we determine if it is part of what we sell or not? We need to identify all the keys in price list. The keys are the items that are here. These are the values, the 10, 15 down to 350 kobo. Those are the values. The first set of items are the keys. So see the keys as the jersey number on the back of your football players, and then the values as their names. Okay, so the first element is always the key. The second part is always the value. So I've defined bread as the key, 10 as the value, milk as the key, 15 as the value. So if I want to get bread, milk, egg, sugar, pepper, I will filter for the keys. If I want to get just the prices alone, I will check the values. You can see, I can check keys, I can check values. But in this case, we only need the keys. So we will retrieve that set of items into a variable called item, and then we are checking. The item you want to buy, is it in the valid list of items? If yes, then it means the product is valid. Otherwise, it will tell us the product is not valid and the user will not be able to go on. Now, having said that, there are other things we need to be able to do, which will be like this. Get amount for each product. And to get amount for each product, we need to define another function called get amount. This one will work with price and quantity. Okay. And it will give us, you work with price and quantity, it will give you a float So you can come in and say your result is 0 for now. You
Sir,
need to return. Yes, sir.
there is someone who's trying to, we have some people trying to catch up with you because their network has been fluctuating. So the message is left. But
Okay.
I felt because they are trying to catch up, maybe we have to address it now.
Okay, so let me go back. P said she's having network. Thanks a lot for calling my attention to this. So let me quickly fix this code. I will go back and review everything. Even if all we succeed in doing today is just this first part, it's good enough a foundation for us to build. Because once you miss this part, the rest is going to be pretty boring to you. So let me finish this part by saying result would be price times quantity. All right. So I think this part is clear. And I don't think I need to format anything again. So let me go to the back, out to the beginning, and tell us how I got here. Remember in our analysis, which I'm bringing back onto the screen.
I've gone back for also.
Is the network okay now, Imisi?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. So remember we said that we want to be able to produce an output that will show row numbers 1, 2, 3, 4 up to the last items or the last item. And then we will put the product description, we'll put the price, we'll put the quantity and the amount. But for us to know the item that will be in this column 2, we must have our price list. This I call PL here. The price list will contain the items that we sell and the amount we sell them. So to produce that price list, I came into the code window and produced this block. And I used a different symbol or a different structure, data structure called dictionary. Okay. Dictionary, I gave the example, and in my explanation, I said, if you look at our own dictionary that we use as human beings, it's a collection of words and their meanings. And the words are kept as keys. Keys are unique, just like you will not see a single word repeated in your dictionary. Starting from the very first word, that word will appear once on that column. They may use it in explaining other things in the second column, but it will always be unique in the first column that is usually bolded. So those are the keys. So you see it here in the description. It says key value pairs. That's what we have in our human dictionary. The word with a colon and then the meaning that that word has. So we use the same thing in computer dictionary environment. So we can do a mapping. If so, I give you a new word, gerundial. You know where to go and search gerundial. You can easily go and search in the dictionary, and then you get the meaning. The same thing is what we do in here. So I produced a dictionary, which is called dict, a dictionary of items. I call it items. And the easiest way for the computer in Python to know it's a dictionary is for you to use this symbol. In this case, you use this symbol. And I surrounded it with, I surrounded my content with that. So maybe what confused some people will be the way I brought them on to multiple lines. I can do this. I'll go back. I can do this. I go back. I can do this. I'll go back. Since I have very few items there anyway, I can do this. I go to the end. I think that's all. Yeah. So this is my dictionary. It's very simple. Just say the items or the variable that you want to use, and then you put 2 curly brackets and put the combination of products and their prices. The products that are string-based will be in quote. In some other places, you may see them putting single quote like this. It will still work. But remember, I said at the beginning that in this training, we will stick to the use of double quotes. And that's why I maintain that convention all through the training. Okay, so single quote can also work here. So bread is a key, 10 is a value. Milk is a key, 15 is a value. And then we repeated that till we go to the last item here, pepper, that we're selling at 3.50 kobo. So whenever anybody wants to see our price list, we'll just return this to them. And they will be able to view all of this content. I'll demonstrate how people will see this content to you shortly. Now, the next thing is for them to say, now we know what we sell and how much we sell them. But when people say, I want bread or milk or egg or anything, we will be able to tell them how much that product costs them. We don't have to be asking them for the unit price again. Once we indicate the item name, our program will come back to this price list to check if that item exists. And if it's there, it will tell them the corresponding unit price. That is what I made this block to do. This is another function. Get unit price given a particular item. If you give this program a product, it will come to this list and then tell you the item. And the easiest way it goes into that list is here. This is the method. Get the value of this item for me from what I have called the price list. This is my price list. You can call yours anything. So it gets the item. Let's say you gave sugar. It goes through, when it gets to sugar, it picks 4.5, and that is the result that will be sent to you. And we can play around with that. But then, what if I put pineapple as the item? It will crash because pineapple is not in the list of what we sell. So we must be able to check if the product exists or not before selling them. This is the unit price. Because if you don't do that check, your program will crash again, like we showed yesterday. So there are many ways in which people crash programs. So this is part of what you do as a check. So I said, let's check if the product exists. And we will always go back to our price list. In this case, on line 20, we are retrieving all of the keys. The keys here are bread, milk, egg, sugar, pepper. We are retrieving all of them and storing them in a product called items. Then we want to check in the items list, these items, is our item that we want, is it there? If it is there, then tell us the validity is true. If it is not, then tell us it is false, and then we are fine. And then the last thing I did here was to say, remember in our dialogue, we said once people give you the item and you generate the price, they will give you the quantity. You can multiply the price with the quantity to get the amount. And you don't need to start doing that in front of anybody by writing the code again. We are building that code into a function, and that's what we call get amount. Some people may say calculate amount. You can give it any name, just be consistent with the way you name your function. And in this case, this get amount needs two parameters to work. It needs to know the price, it needs to know the quantity, and once it has both, it knows that its duty is to multiply price with the quantity to give you the result, and then it returns the result to you. That's what we've done so far. Now, I don't know if this works, even though I know it should work. So we need to start testing. And then if every function we have defined works, then we are fine. We can move into the main body of the program, and then we start doing what you are familiar with. So the first thing I'm going to check is my dictionary for price list. Is it really active? So I'll come in here, I leave 2 lines and say, this is the main program. Okay, or you said the main program starts here. Okay, so we put that one, put this here. And then I want to test, just like I said, I'll say print price list for me. Let's just check what our price list looks like. This should be sales project, run it. And then let's check the results. Yeah, let's check the results. So when I said print price list for me, it said, oh, price list, I can print it. It contains bread, which costs 10 naira. It contains milk, which costs 15 naira. It contains egg, which costs 12 naira 50 kobo, and so on and so forth. Okay, that's what price list is doing. So I can say I have checked my price list. It's working. In fact, I can go in here and say tested, but I'll even say trusted. That's just a comment. I know that part is working. So the next thing I need to check is get unit price. Does it work well? I cannot just believe that, oh, I know how to write code, so it must work. So let me check again and say print get unit price. This time around, I want to put egg there as my item. So if I put egg there, I expect it to print the value of egg out. And that should be 12 naira 50 kobo. So let's run this code. It's correct. So you can see this is our price list. And then this is the price of egg. It brings it out automatically as 12 naira 50 kobo. So I can go up there, get unit price, and say tested and trusted. That part is also working. Then I need to check, is the product valid? Is valid product? If you give me any product, I'm checking, is it valid? Is it true or not, or false? When you are checking its existence in the list, I'll come back here and say print is valid product milk. Okay. I'll do another one. I'll do yam. And then I'll run the code. And you can see for milk, it tells me true, it's a valid product. For yam, it says no, we do not have any product like that. So it is not a valid product. Yam is not a valid product. So nobody should be able to come here and say that they want to buy yam because we're not selling yam. Those having problems with their code should wait. Nobody should be writing code now. So I can copy this also, go back to my is valid product and say, this is also tested and trusted. Okay. Then the last one here is going to be get amount, unit price, quantity, and then it should be able to do something for us. Okay. I can come in here and say price is get unit price for egg, quantity is 10, amount is get amount. Get amount is asking for two parameters, price and quantity. So I'll say price and quantity. So let's see if this is also going to work. We need to print it. So we'll say print amount. And the easiest way is actually to say, do it like this. No, not like this. Do it this way. This times this is this. So this will be format, price times quantity is amount. All right, so we can do this and we can run the project. And you can see that it tells us that for egg, line 46 in our code, the price is 12 naira 50 kobo. If we multiply that by the quantity on line 47, which is 10, you will get 125.0, and that is correct. So with that done, I can go into this and say, get amount is also tested and trusted to be working well. So the fundamental building blocks of our report here are ready. We have something that can give us the price list. We have something that we can use to test if the item exists. We have a module that can give us the price of any given item. We can put in our quantity, that's on us. And we have an intelligence that can give us the amount based on the price and the quantity that have been, supplied. The rest will just be, how do we manage the dialogue so that users can go ahead and start, answering questions. So this is the test, and I don't have to keep the test forever. This is just for me to test that those components are working and they are working well as much as I want. So I can knock all of them off now and start the dialogue per se. Remember in our discussion, we said we would like to decorate the upper part of the screen. And that is not part of this screen. We showed it in an earlier conversation. So we will start from there, the welcome part. So we'll come in here and say, welcome screen. So I don't know what it will look like per se, but let's just ask. I can design a function for that as well. But let's start by saying this, no, it has to be, if a comment has to be there. This is our first real world Python project. Okay. So if I run this, nothing will happen. Nothing. So let me say print this message. Yeah. This is the message I want printed on the screen. People will go in and they will see this. This is our first real world Python project. That's not what I had in mind. What I had in mind is to have something on top of it, like asterisk. And I can say asterisk multiply by maybe 45 for now. I'll run the program. Okay, it's looking good, but it's 3 slots more. So I'll say reduce it to 42. And then it says, yeah, this is our first real world Python project. I'll copy that part and put it underneath so that when we will see it, it will show it exactly like this is our first real world Python project. It puts the asterisk on top and below, and it looks quite simple for now. The next part there will be output empty space before our dialogue, will begin. So the first dialogue is going to be dialogue starts here. Okay. So the first dialogue will be to get the customer name. So you can say customer name. So it will be an input, customer name. So you want them to supply that to you. You also want them to supply their mobile number. You must not forget to change this to mobile number. So we have two things already. Okay. So they give us the customer name, they give us the mobile number. I'm sure someone may be wondering, why am I not converting mobile number to int? Mobile number, just like we said under data type, is not a number per se, it's a text. And that's why I have captured this as a text or as a string and not as int. Otherwise, you will have put int in front of it here. If you put int here, the 0 before your 8 or 7 or 9 will be removed, and that's not what we want. So if my number is 080233844040, I want it to be captured exactly like this. It should not remove this first 0. If you convert this to a number, it will truncate that first 0, and that's not what we had in mind. So this should be a number. And this part is pretty simple. So once you understand the first dialogue, which is get the name, get the mobile number, we need to now start buying the product, which is to ask them, what do they want? Let's go in to test what we've done so far to confirm that it's working. Oh, it's asking for customer name. I'll say Ihsan Onowale. Okay. His phone number, I'll give him mine. Okay. And that's it for now. So it gets the name, it gets the mobile number, and the program ends. We've not asked it to do anything more. So the next thing we need to do now is to start our dialogue with respect to the product. Okay. So we'll say here, start purchase dialogue. Now, one thing I need to mention here also is the fact that in real-world programming environment, there are two situations that you may run into. So you need to know why we're doing this. It is possible you are the only one that is doing everything from beginning to the end of coding, in which case you determine how you want everything to run. It is also possible that you are working in a team. So someone may be working on the definition of all these functions that we saw earlier. Another person may be handling the dialogue. Another person may be handling the result formatting, how the output will look very, pleasing to the eye. So different people will have their own part, and some other people may be the ones handling the testing. They will integrate all the outputs of your different team members together and then test to see that different components fit into one another seamlessly, just like the way cars are manufactured. Different elements come from different production lines, and some guys mix them together in the factory there. They test them very well before releasing the cars out to us. So it could be the same here. So if you are lucky enough, in the Nigerian sense, you may be the guy doing everything. If you find your way outside the country, or you are here and you are working remotely for some foreign companies, you may be given just a component of the entire project to do. So you don't, get overwhelmed I need to put that out there before going on my dialogue. So this is where I want to start asking questions about what do you want to buy? And then we will see how that flows. And then we will stop there for tonight so that I don't overload you, and we'll continue on Monday by God's grace. So I'll say while true. This, I'll say here, product. Product is going to be input. We'll ask you to indicate product name. That's all you give us. You give us the product name. And before I accept product name, remember what we did yesterday with validation. I'm sure you can recall. As it is, let's do something here. Let's just say print product, because we'll be testing as we go. Yeah, if you say print product and you get into this part, customer name, Onowale Ihsan 08174600368. Then we get to product name. Okay, so it says egg. The system is asking product name again. Egg, product name, egg, product name, egg, and product name, egg. Aren't we going to get out of this loop? We are stuck in that loop. Remember, we mentioned this yesterday. We should have a way of breaking out of that loop. Now, before we even accept egg as a product name, we should be able to check. Let me put 456. It still accepts it as a name. That's not correct. That's not what we should have. So I will stop this project and say, no, that's not what we had in mind. What we had in mind is a scenario where whenever anybody types anything like this, we need to check for the validity. So it will be try, okay, try something, and then accept value error, and then display a message to them. Print text input expected. Okay. This is what we want to happen. And this is this part. We will put it in our try block. So I'll put a message here. This is where product is being validated at multiple layers. And I'll show you the different layers that we have here. Now, product is being validated here. The first thing I'm validating is the data type. Okay. I want text alone to go in. Then the second thing I'm going to do here is to say, if is valid product, you see, our product. If we are putting that product that the user has typed in, we're checking it. Is it a valid product? So it's not going to be if it is true. In fact, let's say if it is false. If it is false, do something, and it should be print a message to the error. We don't sell this in our store. Okay, so that's a message that you can display to the user. However, if it is a valid product, then you break from this loop. That means you move on. So why is this? It's a replace Boolean expression with not. Expression can be simplified. I already have this working. Okay. So it's saying if not, sometimes computer speaks to you and you are wondering, okay, what is it saying? But what I've written here is to say, when people type in any product, please check it first. Is it a correct product? If yes, then if no, if it is not a correct product, tell them it is not, that we don't sell that. Otherwise, accept that product as valid and then move on. And what you do when accepting is we need to come up here and say we have items. Sometimes you go forth, you come back. Items, we have them as a list. Prices, we have them as an empty list. Quantities, we have them as an empty list. Amounts, we have them as an empty list. Remember, these are the columns that we have here. Items, prices, quantity, and amount. That's why I brought them back, because I need them now. So it occurred to me that if it is a valid product, then it should be items dot append, then append that product that has been bought. Okay, we don't know its price yet, but append that product that has been bought. So let's check how this one works. So it says, who is our customer? Our customer is Ihsan Onawale 08174600 Now, product name. He wants to buy yam. Do we sell yam? No, I'm not sure. So the program comes back to say, error. We don't sell yam in our store. So we can even go ahead and display the list of products that we sell to him or her at that point. And that would be an interesting element. Should we do that or not? Hello? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so
Yes, you should.
all right, so let us display it. So that will take me back up into my function part and say, I will come in here and say def valid, will not say valid, show valid products. Okay. We just say show valid products. And this will be, we want this to return a list to us. So this will be result. Result will be price list dot get, no, cheese. Yep, this one. Then we'll say return the results. One more enter. This one needs one more enter. All right, so if I do this, what I've done here, I'm testing it and I'm trusting it even before doing the correct thing. What I've said here is that the system should look at price list and show me bread, milk, egg, sugar, pepper. And that's just what we need. So we can come back into this part of the code and say Here I'll say print. Our valid products are, okay. Then you come in here and say format something. And I'll say show valid product. Okay. So I put that one there straight away. Show valid product. Sometimes some people may say, okay, they don't want that to be a long thing because it's scary for them. They will come in, just a moment. They will come in here and say valid product should be this. And then they will come into this part and put this. It will still work, but you are wasting an extra line, not doing anything special. So let's run this and see what will happen. So Esan is my user today. Onowale 081746000368. Product name, we'll put yam. And then the program says, no, we don't sell yam in our store. Our valid products are, and then it gives you the list of the items that are sold. Okay, so we can show people this straight away, even though we can clean this up better, but let's take it as it is for now. So this part is already testing for valid product before we can put it in. But if we put in a valid product, what's the next thing to do? Let's check if we put in a valid product. I say Esan 0902, just to shorten it. And then I put egg. Don't let me put egg. Let me put egg 09. So let's see what it would do. It says we don't sell egg 09 in our store. So give us a valid product. So say egg. We don't sell egg that way. So give us a valid one. So I say capital E, GG. And then it goes out because it has accepted that egg as a product from us. But immediately that is done, we wrote something here that our bucket for items, if the product is valid, let's put it here. If the product is valid. And here we'll put if the product is invalid. You always need to put these comments there to guide you as you go along with coding, so that if someone else is looking at your code, they will know what each segment does. Otherwise, they'll be confused if you are not there. And even if you are there months, years after, you may not remember what was going on in your mind when you were coding. So it's always good to put comments at strategic points. So if the product is valid, we are saying here that add that product to the bucket for items bought. And that's what this line is doing. But before breaking, we also need to get the unit price of the product. We need to get the unit price of the product, and that's where you say price is equal to get unit price of that product. And not just that, you need to, I'm putting my comment, not just get, I say get and store the unit price. Yes, so a single comment. So where I am storing it is, I'll say prices dot append. I'll add the price to it. So now we have a product, we have its price, and we've stored them in two different containers. And then this line of communication breaks. The next thing you will want to find out from the user will be another try block catch. And that's where we'll be asking for the quantity. That's where we'll be asking for the quantity. So here you can come in and say, okay, how about the quantity? Some people will say, don't do this here. Why don't you take this into another part of the code? We will test the two options and see how it flows. But I can tell you what I've done so far is going to show me, if I say print items, which is my, I'll say customer, not customer. I'll put the customer name as selected this, and the prices are this. So far, format. So the person has selected items, and then I can see prices, not price now. So if you do this, why is it flagging this? Too few arguments. Oh, customer name. Customer name as selected items. Yeah, so this is what we have for now. So let's run it. I'll say customer name is San 080233844040. He has bought egg. And our program says a San Omawale has selected egg and the prices are 12.50 kobo. It is assuming that you select multiple items, but because we've tested with one, it has kept it in that container for items like the basket we always put things in when we go to stores. That's this container called items here. It's the same as here. So this is bucket.append. So when you are adding the product into that item bucket, we can even change the naming so that you identify them easily. I can say items basket, price basket. Okay. Which other one? Quantity basket. Amount basket. You can remain consistent with your casing. This is normal. This going forth and back is normal because we are building the code for the first time. So you go forth and back and, oh, it's telling me that it's nothing called items now. I say, okay, I know. It is now called items basket. Item basket. Here it is called price basket. And here I should be dealing with item basket and then price basket. So see it like we'll be carrying 4 baskets around. One for item, the one for their price, the one for their quantity, and then the amount, because we are adding things into those 4 logical baskets, even though everything is in a single basket. So when you get to the teller and they are picking the item, oh, you picked bread, PIM, they swipe it in front of that scanner. It shows them the unit price. Then they can put the quantity, the machine calculates the amount. Then they leave it. They pick the next item, swipe it, PIM, the scanner gets them the price. They put the quantity, it calculates the amount. They go to the next item until they don't see anything in front of them again. That is essentially what you are reproducing with this code. So for now, we have succeeded in building the project up to where we can get the item, validate it, and get its price. I will stop there because I don't want you to be overloaded. You need to watch this again. I'll take like 2-3 minutes to summarize what I've done so far. And by God's grace, when we meet on Monday, we will take the second part, which is how do you get the quantity, get the amount, and then prompt them for, do they want more product? If they say yes, how does the dialogue flow from there? And the rest is just going to be pretty straightforward. So stepping back to where we started, we produced a price list that contains 5 items: pepper, sugar, egg, milk, and bread. And we set their selling prices. And we used a data structure called dictionary to store those elements. We tested it, it worked. Then we said we will always need to show the different items in that list. And that's why we did this second bit, show valid product. And we want it to be in a list. In fact, someone else could have come in to say, just hold on a second. Say result. Result is initially an empty list. And then they will come in and say, for every item in product lists, like product case like this. So you say result dot append item. Okay. So this one should also work, and we can test it later. So we were able to produce a list of products that will show our users what we sell in case they put wrong item in there. Then we defined a logic that can look at that price list based on any item that is given to that logic. It will get the unit price for you. So this is how it goes to the price list. It gets the item and returns the value that is in front of it. So we did that part, it works. Then we checked if the product is a valid product, because people cannot just come and claim they want to buy things. And that one is going to give you a true or false result. And that type is called bool or boolean. It gives true or false results. So if the item exists, then the result is true. If the item does not exist, the result is false. And then the last element that we built was to say, how about calculating the amount? Remember here, we do not want users to give you the price and quantity. They will just give you the item and the quantity. The program will detect the price and it will multiply the price with the quantity to give you the amount. So we don't want you to start doing quantity times price in front of everybody. So we defined a logic called get amount that does that, and it gives us a float result. And that's what we have in here. And the rest was just to go into the body of our program proper to say, produce a welcome screen like this, ask users for some things which they will give you, and then they give you their name and their phone number. And after that, we will start the dialogue. What product are you buying? You indicate the product, and if the product is not valid, tell them the product is not valid. Then show them the list of valid products. But if the product is valid, add it to the item basket. Add the product. That's append the product to the item basket, and then get the unit price for that product. Add the price to the price basket, and then move on. Logic. That is what we have done so far. I need the floor back to the chairman for a wrap-up. If there are questions, please, I'm available to answer the question before we go on. So over the weekend,
Thank you.
look at the code.
Thank you, teacher.
On Monday. Yeah.
So it's going to be a long weekend, but I have questions for my pupils or students. So the first one is going to Ikeoluwa. Ikeoluwa, are you there? So if she's not able to answer it, I'll throw it back to another person who will now attempt again until we get the answer. So the question number 1 is, what is the name that we give to the data list that store the value of our variables, which we use to store the items? Okay, we have our items stored somewhere, you know, as data. What is that cache? What is that, what's it called? That part, that segment of the program, what is it called? Can someone tell me the segment of the program that stores the,
So please,
what do you
can
call
you
it?
question?
The items that we want to add together, okay? They are stored as variable in a particular part of the program. Who can tell me what that segment is called? The data there are stored somewhere. That segment of the program, what is it called?
In case the question is not clear to you, remember we kept our egg, yam, sorry, we didn't say yam. The items that we sell, our price list. So he's asking,
Price list.
yes, the price list. How did we store those items? Did we use string? Did we use number? Did we use float? Did we use list? Did we use library or what?
No, that absolutely.
What
There is a particular
word?
word for
Yes.
that. Is it library?
I chose not to use it
There is
in
a
my.
particular word. Is it class?
So
Is
use
it
the
library?
dictionary.
There is one
Yes.
professor here.
Like
Who said
you're
that?
Italian. Who's that?
So
Who is that?
Let me
What do
see.
you say your name is?
it's Peace.
Fantastic. You are very correct. It is called dictionary. Okay, so Imisi has got that. Now, question number 2. If I have a statement that gives me 2 options, yes or no, what is it called? I have a statement in my program that gives me 2 options.
Yeah.
And those options are called yes, or gives me 2 options, either yes or it gives you no. What are they called? That particular
Price list.
statement, what is it called?
No, it's not price list.
No.
Boolean.
If you check
Boolean.
a variable, if you check a variable,
Who said Boolean?
Alabi.
but Redwan got it.
Alabi got it. That is a Boolean. That is a Boolean statement. A Boolean statement gives you 2 options.
It will
It
give
is
you true
either
or
yes
false. Yeah.
or no.
Yeah.
Yes, true or false, yes or no, 0
No
or
or
1. You know, so for some of you that have been doing base 2 arithmetics in school, that's Boolean arithmetic. You either have 0 or you have 1. So you can have 1001, 1000001. So when you want to have HIB, what do we call this
The binary.
digits that we use to, the binary digit that we use to indicate our location? There is something they call it. When they say after you give your address, they now say give your, what's it called? Something code.
Your postcode.
Your postcode. So
Or zip
postcode is
code, as the
Boolean
case may be, yeah.
because it is either 010101, and so your postcode is Boolean arithmetic. arithmetics, because it's either the digits are either 1 or 0. So that's it. Now the final question, the final question. What do we use this Boolean statement to achieve? In this particular program we did, experiment we did tonight, what exactly did we use it to achieve? We use it to achieve something. Who can tell me what is it we use it to achieve? And that thing is very critical that we use it to achieve. Who can tell me?
So if an individual wants more goods.
You said?
To know if an individual wants more goods.
No.
Now that's part of it, because we started by saying, okay, do you want more gold? Yes or no? But we used it for one major part, which
From one major, very critical part of your programming, that if you don't have it, you definitely will not be able to have the right result.
Is valid product.
That's
correct.
To validate your product. Absolutely right. So when you now have the list, egg, sugar, you want to know, are these lists the validated? Is this part of, because you have in the supermarket you have maybe 1,000,001 items, and customer just wants to buy 5. So you need to validate the 5. Did Mr. Giwa pick sugar? Yes. Did he pick soap? No. Did he pick egg? Yes. What about Pampers? No. You need to validate your item, and that's what we use to validate our item. So I think going forward, we have learned something, and it's critical. Your programming is like you want to learn a language in real life, okay? And for some of us, we would have seen that when we want to learn a language, what do? We read books. We read books. Particularly, we read novels for some of you in secondary school. When you want to if you want to effortlessly improve your English, you just read novels. And what does novel do? Or what do novels do? Novels gives you scenario when people, communicate. In novels, you see people that are communicating at the level that are better than you in the story, and those communication becomes part of vocabularies, okay? Because you have seen somebody practicalizing it. Sometimes also you watch films, and how people communicate, the words they use, they also become your vocabulary. And sometimes you go to games village or language village, as they call it, where you interact with people. So to learn a language, you need to practice. You need to do what? So this is not a class. You come every day, you listen, and you go. You have to practice yourself. You have to make mistakes. The essence of practicing is for you to make a lot of mistakes. And when you are making those mistakes, somebody is correcting it. Okay? So guys, you have to also sit down and little think about a lot of things. Simple things. Like, can I program a robot to bring me food from the kitchen? Can I program a robot to open the gate? Can I write a language to maybe help me to bring my book or put my books in my bag? Just think of weird things that you do as routine and say, okay, can I even, let's say there is a robot in our house, can I ask him to do this for me? Okay. So when you do that, you make mistake, you go back to our teacher on WhatsApp and you ask questions. I have written this language, this is what I want the robot to do for me. Sir, am I right? And you will see how excited your teacher will be, because now he's saying that the things is teaching you, you are now beginning to demonstrate it, okay? So whoever comes with a program between now and Monday, I have a gift for that person. I'll see who will write a simple program and say on Monday, I've thought of this that maybe a robot can do for me, and this is the instruction I want to give the robot to do. Am I right? Can this instruction achieve this objective? Will it be able to carry my bag into the car? Will it be able to check my books into my bag? Have I written the right instruction for the robot? So imagine you have a robot who is a house girl or your maid or your assistant at home, and you want to write a number of things to instruct that robot to do for you. So I'm looking for who will do a program by Monday and put it on WhatsApp before Monday, and our teacher will be able to say, okay, this is where you are wrong, this is where you are right. And I have a gift for that person. Okay, are we fine with that? Emisi, are we fine with that?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Everybody,
Yes,
are we fine with that?
Yes, sir.
So we are going to get a program before Monday. So HIB, my kids have promised me we are going to get a program. And so it's going to be
I'm also
very
fired up.
loaded.
I'm excited. I look forward to seeing their programs because it would show us what their mind looks like.
They have promised you a loaded weekend. So, sir, please fasten your shokoto. If I
I
can
am
use
doing
that
that. I look forward to seeing their outputs on Monday. And I'll also take them to that next level because we'll finish this project on Monday, or worst case scenario by Tuesday. They will love what they will do on Monday. If we don't get to do much beyond reviewing their own codes, I'm sure we'll wrap up the major part of our own program on Monday. Tuesday will just be like a review of everything. And then Wednesday, God's willing, we'll start games development using Python.
Sir, will you allow me to have the key to the class against the games class, so that whoever has not impressed me with his own programs, I would lock him out.
Yeah, sure.
Out.
Sure.
Correct. So if you want to be part of the game, you have to write enough program for me between now and Wednesday.
Yeah.
Think of it, do it. Don't worry yourself whether you are right or wrong. It is when you are being corrected that you learn better. Okay, everybody.
So is it a program about the robot?
No, it can be anything. It can be anything. Just think of an idea, implement it in Python, and then let's see it. If you run into problems, take a picture of it, share it with me on WhatsApp privately. I can help you, correct it.
So can I play games?
It doesn't have to be now.
Okay, this is what they call robots. Robot is the program you write. Okay, robot is that computer that is helping you to solve your problem. So it's a way of saying when you are writing computer program, you are talking to somebody, and that person you are talking to, whether it is imaginary, whether it is your computer, whether it is the street lights, whether it is whatever that is going to do the job, that is your robot. Sometimes it's even the algorithm that you are writing that we call robots. Okay.
Okay,
did you get that?
Yes,
okay.
Sir.
So I want you to write those instructions, and let's see. Imagine whatever you want to imagine and say, okay, can I talk to computer to do it for me, or robot to do it for me? Computer and robot are the same thing. So can I talk to computer to do it for me, or robot to do it for me? And then we'll see how. But I want to see your programs from tomorrow to Wednesday. Okay, everybody, you put your name on it, and then you share it on our WhatsApp and say, okay, this is what I want the computer to do for me, and this is the program I have written, instructions. I'm telling you in layman. So this is the instruction that I've written in Python to do it. Will it do the exact thing I'm saying? Then our uncle would correct us if we are wrong, and then applaud us if we are right. Okay, are we good? Are we good?
Yes.
Mariam, are you good? Okay, Mubarak,
Yes,
can you
sir.
do good?
I can see Ridwan's hand up. I will give you 10 seconds quickly before we exit.
We round up. All right.
Ridwan, your hand is up.
Please, I'm having problem.
Okay, I posted a message in the chat box. I said those who are having issues should reach out to me around 9:45 tonight if you're still awake. I want to join another quick meeting. When I'm done with that, I'll be free. So reach out to me around 9:45 via WhatsApp, and I'll be willing to help you fix your code issues. Is that okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome.
But please, sir, your number, sir.
I have put it in WhatsApp. Okay, check the chat for this. Okay, I'll call it out. 0817 0817 4600 4600 368 368 0817 4600 368. Okay? All right. I wish you an amazing weekend. I look forward to seeing all of you on Monday by God's grace. Bye from my end.
Bye.
Night.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Good night.
Good night. Enjoy your weekend. Help mommy in the kitchen. Help daddy.